everybody, it's your boy Indirect here, and as you guys can tell by the title, why did I leave orbit? So basically, my response to what's going on is gonna kind of come from the heart. I'm gonna try not to be too harsh. Just I'm gonna try to like spread the word towards orbit and then people who are going for orbit and things like that. Keep in mind, this is not a hate video towards orbit. Nothing like that. This is just giving you guys the inside of orbit, and as well as giving you guys the necessary knowledge, I guess, if you're going into orbit or if you guys are a leadership of orbit. So this kind of a message to you guys. So pretty much, you guys, I joined orbit, left them, then I rejoined, and then I recently left the past couple days. And I'll get into depth of that. So the first time that I joined 80s, Orbit 80s, he's the one that hit me up and was like, yo man, listen man, we think your content is great, we want you to be a part of it. So I was like, all right, cool, bet, I will be more than happy to join. You know, they had a lot of stuff in the works, you know, recruiting, and you know, I had very high hopes, just like you would, you know, think of if joined any org, not just orbit, but anybody. And the thing about orbit, at the time whenever I first joined, it was had a lot of ideas for Fortnite creation, had a lot of ideas, and orbit and the upper management is what I should say, they didn't really want to go the Fortnite route per se. They still said focus on kind of Fortnite creation, but at the same time they wanted to release a lot of Blackout content. So the thing about the Blackout content, Blackout died off very quick, and nothing happened with the Fortnite creation because I got moved over to being a streamer and stuff like that, which all in all, I haven't really made any videos for orbit. The only thing that I do provide is clips. Moving forward with the clip thing, so I'm not going to go into depth of who said what or things like that, unless of course there needs to be a more of a raw version of this, which I don't think that's going to come to light. However, somebody told me that there's an issue with my files that I was uploading to the orbit folders, and the issue was that I was putting them in zipped files, and according to said person, the editors don't know what a zipped file is. How do you, like, if you're an editor, how do you not know what a zipped file is? And this is me calling out specific editors and calling out this one person who said this. And it honestly, at the time, it made me very upset, because that's the way I organize clips for myself and my personal channel. If you guys obviously been here a while, you guys understand my personal channel, I put a lot of hard work into it and dedication. And whenever somebody says they don't understand a zipped file, it's very simple. You download the actual file, and then boom, you have all the files on your computer. That's pretty much it. You just one click, it compresses the files, right, for better memory. And anyways, so about the situation, so that kind of got blown out of proportion. I was being quote unquote a dickhead, which I will admit, because at the time, between medications and things like that, I'm very stubborn sometimes when I'm on medication, and I know that I would admit whenever I'm wrong. In that case, essentially I was wrong because everybody else was doing it a certain way. Just in my mind, the way it worked, it seemed like a lot easier for my organization of the way I organize my clips, but they didn't want it that way. And yeah, I had a hissy fit about it, you know, like, man, this is stupid, whatever, and I was mad. Ultimately, I did apologize. I ultimately did apologize, genuinely, not like it was just like, ah, sorry, whatever. It was a genuine apology, because I did realize that I was wrong. I was in the wrong. However, getting back down to the topic at hand. So, with the whole orbit thing, the reason why I believe a lot of people are leaving right now, not just me, but obviously, I never knew how to say his name, which I do apologize. Nivey, I think it's Nivey, I think. But he left because of work issues. Perfectly good example, you know, good example of a reason to leave. You know, he went out on a good note, just like pretty much everybody else. They left on a good note, as far as I know. The thing is, though, why are people leaving orbit? And personally, I feel like things are just not getting done. Things are not getting done. Going backing up a little bit towards me saying that I never made anything for orbit. I never have. I have talked to lead directors. I've talked to you know, people. I told them, like, listen, man, put me to work. Like, I will make videos for orbit, no matter if it's 1 a week, 2 a week, whatever. And that's whenever they proposed a situation of me becoming a content creator, like a lead person for content creator. Well, here's the thing: with content creation, the route that they were going, personality based, I need to work with the streamers, and they flat out told me no. I need to make my own content creation team, and that's not the way I was looking at it. I wanted it to strictly be with the streamers because I can pull out a lot of content from streamers. Don't get me wrong, let the lead streamer work on the stream stuff, right? Like for the streaming montages and whatever highlights, but let me pull clips from them. I can do tons of videos, you know, from streamers. Streamers are like a hybrid breed, right? They are nonstop content creators. Even if they're just streaming, talking to the chat, you don't realize how much content they produce. It's not just giving you guys highlights. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tons of things. No matter if you're doing community-based stuff like hide and seek maps or custom matches or funny moments, things like that. There's so much stuff that you can do with a streamer. So anyways, long story short, they announced it. Then like literally 2 hours later, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't have the full control that I want to do things that's wrapped around in my head. So, then I messaged somebody and I called out Nivey for not doing enough. Right? Obviously, I don't get to see the behind the scenes stuff, and I will admit, I did say like, listen, man, Nivey's not getting anything done. Now, keep in mind with me saying that, I don't know if it was because of he didn't have full access like I did. I don't know what was being done behind the scenes, but whenever you look back at it at the OrbitClan YouTube channel, they uploaded 14 or 16 videos in like 10 months. Like that's ridiculous. There's no reason why a big of an org as you are that you're not releasing more than, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos a week, maybe even more. That's why if you had that said person in charge, like I said, I don't know what the issue was with Nivey or anything like that, but however, Nivey was a great dude. I personally liked him, even though we butted heads sometimes. At the end of the day, everybody in Orbit are very nice individuals, you know. But I feel like they're not running the organization the way they should. So, getting back to the topic. So, with that, they have not uploaded hardly any content. Yeah, they're doing stream highlights. They're doing profile videos, which is great, which is all good. Perfectly fine. But that's not really content creation. It is, but it's not. You're doing a content creation for this said person. Or with the stream highlights, that's all of Orbit in the streaming community. So all that stuff is content creation, but it's not. And I'm trying to explain it to them. Make videos. Like, why? Like, what's going on? And they're like, well, we're trying to build them up. Well, 10 months later, are you still trying to build them up? Like, what are y'all doing? Like I said, I told them to put me to work. Give me something to do on the side or whatever. And then they chalked it up to be like, well, listen, man, use your creativity. Do what you got to do. No, give me something. No, that's what leaders are for. Leaders are supposed to be like, you know what, Indirect, listen, man, I want you to produce a top 10 video, which I believe somebody did talk to me about doing a top 5 for Orbit. They told me to get in contact with somebody in the editing community. And I told them I was in school or work or something. Is there any way you can DM the person? And I have all these tweets and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm not saying quote unquote names here. But they never hit me up. So it's like, why would I go out of my way to reach out to somebody whenever I'm busy in my life, right? Trying to help Orbit. This is where the leadership is what I'm saying that comes into play and be like, oh, you know, I get it. People forget. I honestly understand. But at the same time, if you want content, make sure everything is set up the way you need it to be. So anyways, granted, I could have went out of my way and hit him up, but honestly, I did forget. But also, too, I was busy with work because I was in the military and stuff like that, recently out. But long story short, man, this is why you need to sit down and make people do certain things. Now, in the streaming aspect of it, you know, we were told to, I believe, upload at least 3 clips or something like that, like every 2 weeks or so, right? But here's the thing: we're only releasing like stream highlights like once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, whatever it is. And it's like we could be releasing the stream highlights video every week, once a week. It's very easy. And the outline that I wanted to do things. So let's say we had, I don't know, let's just hypothetically here, if we had like 10 streamers, right? I think we had more than that, but let's say we had 10, right? We literally partner them up with their own editor and their own graphic artist, designer, whatever, you know, people who are trying to be recruited. This is the best way to put them to work. You tell them, hey, look, I want you to work on this type of video. I need you to work on this type of video. Give them a deadline, 2 weeks. Get this video done. Okay, guess what? 10 people, 10 videos. You have the editor. You have the graphic artist. That's 10 videos that you just made in 2 weeks. Guess what? That's how you stack videos. But I couldn't get the full access of doing that because they wanted to build up the videos and stuff like that. But long story short, I feel like I just did not have the full authority to what I wanted to do it, no matter if it was doing the uploads to YouTube or whatever the case is. And I get it. Can't give out all the information. Like, I get it. You don't want people to be in total control whenever you have lead people, right? And I understand that. I was in the military. I understand how organizations work and stuff like that. But sometimes you do got to step on people's toes to get shit done. And I feel like that is what backfired on me whenever I was trying to get shit done. They took it as animosity or this dude's an asshole or whatever. Which ultimately I was not trying to be. I just wanted to get shit done. But yes, so it's one of those things where I did reach out to somebody and said, yo, man, listen, I'm contemplating on leaving Orbit. Fortnite is not fun. And then also, too, I'm getting down on myself because I feel like I'm not putting out enough content. And so this person sent me a screenshot of videos that they're working on or whatever. I don't know what's going on with them. I'm not going to show it or anything like that. But not one of these quote-unquote statements or, you know, video ideas or whatever, none of it had my name in it. And that's where, like, I feel like somebody should have by now said something like, oh, yo, Indirect, man, we need you to work on this. Bet, put me to work, man. I grind. You know. So end of the day, man, Orbit's leadership, I'm not gonna say they're horrible, which they're not. They're doing a lot of great things, you know, on Twitter. You know, they're posting the streaming stuff and things like that, and they're growing on Twitter and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, man, 40,000 subs on YouTube. Okay, 40,000 subs on YouTube, phenomenal, great stats. But whenever you look at it, now keep in mind, I'm only at 4,300 subs on YouTube, not that much. But it puts you in perspective. If I'm bringing in more subs per month than what Orbit is doing, granted, they're bringing in a few more thousand views than me, but look how much bigger they are compared to me. But if I'm pulling in more subs compared to them, obviously something on the YouTube side is not right, and I disagree with 100% because they need to be doing more. Like I said, leadership wise, I'm, on a lack of a term, I probably say they're mediocre. And when I say that, not saying mediocre is not a bad term. Just look it up. It means that I feel like they're lazy. Lazy in a sense of producing the content, etc., etc., etc. And so I know I'm probably gonna get some backlash for that, whatever. But at the end of the day, man, this is how I honestly feel. These are not facts. These are just opinions. Keep that in mind before you guys start commenting and tweeting me, DMing me, whatever. Remember what I'm saying. This is just opinions. I'm not steering anybody away from Orbit. I'm just letting you guys know that they need to do more for their streamers, more for their, well, I guess mainly for the content creation side. Like, I get it. Anybody can upload a Twitter video of saying, "Oh man, listen, you go check out his stream, whatever. He hits these or whatever." You know, that's simple shit. That is basic Twitter shit for an organization. So whenever they say that, oh yeah, we're working hard, we're tweeting out streamers, and you can manually or automatically send tweets out. As long as you do them yourself, of course, automatically send it like once a day, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting down to the nitty gritty, getting the shit that needs to be done. If you want Orbit to expand, if you want them to get bigger than what they were, you need to start putting in the work, put in the time for content creation, not just streaming highlights, not just profile videos. Actually dig deep and make the content. And this is a message towards the leadership of Orbit. Anybody that is going for Orbit, by all means, do it. They're very family oriented, I believe. I think nobody made me feel like unwanted. Like I said, they take care of you guys. They do. No matter if it's getting cheaper jerseys. You know, I have 3 of them. I ordered 3. But they do a lot for them on the inside as far as talking to them, you know, asking about life, that type of stuff. That's what I mean by family oriented. But at the end of the day, man, they're not getting the shit done. They're not. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna hurt some feelings. I'm probably gonna lose a few friends from this, which ultimately I hope I do not. If I could better my relationship within Orbit, as far as, I don't know, maybe coming back in the future if they will allow me, or whatever the case is, I still would like to push Orbit in the right direction. The thing is, though, so I put it this way. I have never been turned down from a job. Not because I was qualified or anything like that. There's a very bunch of jobs I was not qualified for, but due to my ideas, and due to the way I talked to them and had the passion to do certain things, they crossed their fingers, took a risk, and guess what? It paid off. It did, because I was the best mechanic at one of my jobs, best mechanic, hands down. But ultimately, like I said, man, things need to be ran different. The leadership is not there. It's there, but it's not there. It's not what it needs to be. So with that being said, you guys, keep in mind, like I said, listen, join Orbit. Great community within and everything like that. But if you want to be led in the right direction, it's not necessarily the way to go, unless they start stepping their shit up. I've talked to a bunch of people who recently left Orbit. I believe there's like 5 of them. I think I talked to like 3 or 4 of them or something like that. And I'm not gonna say exactly what they said, but pretty much everything I'm telling you guys, they nodded their head yes, or they agree with me. So just keep in mind, man, I want everybody to succeed, and that includes Orbit. Anybody that stayed in Orbit, I want them to succeed. I want everybody to get big one day. I want everybody to be moved in the right direction. But the thing is, man, sitting in an org for off and on, look, me joining, quitting for 10 months. 10 months. And only 14 to 16 videos got uploaded to YouTube. And majority of them are stream highlights. There were a few montages in there, which is great. Fantastic. Do the montage scene. Like, it's so big. Like, it's such a good thing in the community. Community montages are a must. Orbit could be doing community montages of people who are not in Orbit. People who are in Orbit. They can do so many things. Top 5s, top 10s, whatever. Or the community, like they can be doing so much more, man, and it pisses me off, man, because there's so much stuff they could have done, but they didn't do it. But like I said, man, I know I said it like 1,000 times. I'm ranting a little bit. My anxiety's getting a little spiked because like I had passion for this, man, and it honestly it irked me the wrong way, man. And like I said, man, I got a lot of friends in Orbit and people who recently left. I'm a lot of friends with them, and but yeah, if you guys want to join Orbit, by all means, do it. I'm not telling you guys not to do it. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Orbit itself, which I will say personally, it helped me grow on Twitter a little bit, like a smidge. But it did grow. It did help me grow. Thing is, I'm not trying to gain anything out of Orbit, especially whenever I was trying to step up and actually do a lot of shit in Orbit. I just could not get that helping hand to do it, per se. But as far as like my YouTube and stuff, and Fortnite and my streaming stuff, I didn't grow anything because of Orbit, and these are facts. I will show you facts. I will show you stats if it comes down to it. But Twitter, yes, I have grown on Twitter a little bit because of the Orbit brand. True. End of the day, you guys, statistics are statistics, facts are facts. Make sure you guys know what you guys are going in for. Join Orbit. They're great. I love each and every one of them. Like I said, this might get some backlash, but at this point, I don't care because 10 months of constant being said, hey, yeah, we're doing this, but in reality, you know, actions are louder than words. So with that being said, you guys, don't hate me too much. I love y'all. Deuces.